right, we're back with our FIL Studio live. My name is Kate Hansen, and we're just admiring this track. I still just can't get over this like massive ice block. I was looking at, maybe I'll do it for you guys. It tastes good. Very natural. It's top pristine ice here in Switzerland, top pristine water. You'll never taste a track quite like this because actually there's like, it's all the refrigeration and everything. So I would never think to do that on any other track. But this, it's just really, it's a wonder of the world, and it's the biggest ice sculpture in the world, and it's just incredible. So, little background on it, they have to remake this every single year. There's no cement under here, there's no bricks. This is actually a golf course in the summer when there is no track, so they completely make it, and those guys are the geniuses. Here's one of them, the other ones are hanging out, but these are the geniuses, the evil geniuses behind making this track. So we've got some really cool videos to show you as to how it's made. So these guys are the ones, they spend their whole winter here putting it together. So here's what it looks like in November when they decide to put this track together. just a wild thing. Like, I still can't really compute, like, I cannot compute how you build something like this. And they just showed that final shot in the video of what it looks like to go down the track, and they do guest bob runs here. This is where I assume they make a lot of their money here at the track, is so people all over the world, you can come and pay for a spot in one of their bobsleds to come take this run. And I looked up videos before I came here to kind of see the documenting of how they do this, and it really is interesting every year. We could talk so much about it. So it's been an interesting week here in St. Moritz. We've been learning a lot about the history, how this even all happens. Here's the gang. Hey, gang. Here's the crew. They're like a mob. They're like cruising around. They hang together. You can't infiltrate the guy crew. They're fun. They're all really nice guys, but they definitely aren't super excited to talk to the camera, because you can imagine how many people come here and want to talk to them and ask them about the track. So this week in St. Moritz, we've been learning a lot about the track, the history of sliding here, why people love to come here. There's so many pieces to this beautiful city, town, village, I don't know what you would call it exactly. And one cool thing that they have in town, it's in one of the main parking structures, and they sneakily put this design gallery in the escalators coming out of the parking structure. You would never know it's there unless someone told you it was there, or unless you just happen to park in this parking structure. But what they did is that there's a photographer that came and took some really cool shots of the track, and they blew up his photos and put them as you're going down the escalator. There's got to be like 15 to 20 huge pictures showing and showcasing this book that he made. It's called Handmade. I believe it's by Philip. I know his first name is Philip Zwan. It's Philip Zwan. That's what it is. And it's a really cool book. You should check it out. Look it up online. Go buy it. And it's really like, it's bringing artistry into this art. I mean, I know we're here for sports, but this really is, it's a sculpture, it's art, and these guys are incredible at what they do. So we got to go check it out a little bit. I just wanted to tell you a little bit about it. So when you go to town, you can ask around for it, but they have like profile pictures of those guys, and they're black and white profiles, and you could just see, like, if every wrinkle could tell a story, like, that's what it looks like. You could just see the history in their faces, and it says like, oh, these are the track workers, and then it shows pictures of them putting the track together. It shows like a cool picture of the hose they use, and I loved it. It was super cool. So St. Moritz is sneaky. They put this design gallery in there, and it was fun because we actually got to talk to our friend Martin Berto about everything about St. Moritz. He used to work for the tourism board, and then he's in charge of running the track here. And we got to have a chat with him right outside where this gallery was in town. So here's Martin Berto, a really cool guy, a lot of personality, and he was just super nice. So Martin was great to talk to, and he gives us a lot more info about how we're even here today. Okay, everyone, it's our FIL Studio show. My name is Kate Hansen, and I'm joined by a really cool guy, Martin Berto. Just been having some chats with him, and we're lucky that we get to talk to him. So a little bit of background on him is he worked with the tourism board for many, many years, and then he switched into his retirement. I mean, you seem like the guy who can't stop working. You just love to keep doing things, because now he's on the committee that runs the track here in St. Moritz. And so how long have you been running the track for?
Since 40 years.
There you go. That's it right there. So I was asking him before we jumped on, because we were talking about stories. Bobsled is such a big piece of St. Moritz. Like, how did it start? Like, how did it all start here?
Bobsleigh was a part of the Cresta Run. The Cresta Run was built the first time in 1884. And the St. Moritz Tobogganing Club was founded at the same year. So, and that's only skeleton. That's the Cresta skeleton. That's the mother of skeleton sport.
So skeleton was here first.
Yes, it was first. And then afterwards in 1895, 96, they started to connect or to build two skeletons together and ride it on the road from St. Moritz down to Tellerina. And that was the start of bobsleigh, more or less. And there was a company here, the Mattis. He started to build also bobsleighs. And then there was the first bobsleigh, 2 men, more 4 men and 5 men, or 5 people, because there was always a woman on the sled, and they started to run on the road down to Celerina. But on the other hand, the Cresta was already built, so the Cresta people, the skeleton people from the St. Moritz Tobogganing Club, they already had a run. And then the bobsleigh, more or less the same people said, oh, we do also need a bobsleigh club. So the St. Moritz Bobsleigh Club was founded in 97.
Yeah, take a look at this.
97. We are now 125 years old, and we have our big celebration this year, or we had it already. It was wonderful. And since then, the track was built in the same line, more or less in the same line. They had some different finish parts, but more or less since 1904, the same track built on snow.
So I didn't know this, that it was 2 skeleton sleds that made a bobsled.
Yeah.
So I didn't.
More or less the start, yeah.
So skeleton's the OG. You know what OG means? Yeah, skeleton's the OG of bobsled.
In principle, yes. It's yeah. But how they explain it here, maybe they had other toboggans at the same time, but it started here like this.
Because I see there's like statues around town, or like I went on the Cresta Run, there's that street and there's a skeleton statue of a man, and then you have a bobsled, and I just love how you guys really lean into the history of sliding here, and it's just so cool. So with the track, it's unique here because obviously it's handmade, which how long does it take from start to finish to make the track?
They need 3 weeks. 3 weeks. We need 15,000 cubes of snow and 7,000 cubes of water.
Like cubes, like they cut cubes?
Just cubes. You know, it's...
like the measurement, I'm sorry. That was my bad. Okay.
And then they build by hand. They make a mesh with water and snow, and they build it up by hand.
Did you ever do this one year or do it with them?
No, it's a hard job. I don't know. No. No, but it's good to see. When you should come once, and see how they build. It goes. You can see how it goes forward. Yeah. And it's not a measurement. It's not. It's only what hand and eye.
It's like an art. It's like an art, because some of the men have been working for 40 years at the track, and I heard about a book. I heard that there's a little tiny pocket book with written measurements, like at this tree you take 10 steps and you put the post. Is this true?
This book belongs to one guy of the building team.
Is it secret?
Yeah, it's quite secret.
Have you?
I haven't seen it. No, I have seen it, but they won't give it to us. They keep it in their head and in their because they hard. Yeah. And they build the track together, and as they are finished, every guy there are 15 more or less has a turn, and he is responsible a curve, and he is responsible for this curve, like his wife.
This is so fascinating. So each person's in charge of one curve. Yeah. So like if one curve has bad ice, it's his fault. Like if it's bumpy ice or something.
They are proud to not to have problems on this turn. Yeah.
Wow. Well, you can see it when you see the track and you see the races. The ice just looks impeccable and incredible. But this book, so what happens? Will he ever pass this book down? Like, how do you keep this knowledge in the family?
We will see what we are doing, but we don't know these measurements. Yeah. We have a measurement in summer, as the track looks in summer, where the tracks go through, and with the turns, and we do have the same in winter, so we know approximately how much snow we need to build the track. But exactly, we don't know. So you can't build the track along with a plan, because it takes too much time. They have to work immediately, because 3 weeks is nothing for 1,700 meter. No. It's the longest and the biggest snow sculpture in the world.
Yeah, and it's the longest track in the world. Like snow sculpture, yes, and then in terms of an athlete, it is the longest track in the world. So it's really a feat. I feel like this should be a wonder of the world. It really is so incredible and just so many things. But thank you for sharing all of this knowledge. This is what people want to know about, but they don't know just watching on TV, and you are just like a secret vault. You're a vault of secrets and stories. So thank you so much for joining us. Now you guys know all the behind the scenes of the track, and I just wanted to know about that book because I've been hearing about it, but of course only a few people have seen it. So
Secret.
Yeah, secret. We won't tell. You guys never heard this conversation.
No, it's okay. It's fine. It's good, and we have to know this, and because it's measurement and ice, so the turns are always a little bit different. Yeah. Not really different, because we also don't have a record of the track. Yeah. It's a season record. Yeah. So it's always a little bit different, but there is just little difference.
You know how many kids across my country in America, they try and build a little sled track in their front yard? You could come consult these guys. They pay big bucks, and maybe they could give you the secrets of how they do it. But thank you so much for joining us, Martin Berto. This was such a gift. Thank you for joining us. And again, did you get a good look at this patch? Because this is what it's about. So anyways, thank you so much, Martin Berto. Incredible. And we'll show you guys a lot more stuff with this FIL Studio show.